He is the aforementioned Randy Johnson, 5-time Cy Young winner, special assistant to the Diamondbacks, and he joins us now. Randy, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Who's this?
It's Dan. It's Dan Patrick.
Dan Patrick. Hold on. Let me look and see my schedule, if I had you in my schedule today.
All right.
Dan Patrick. Yes. Dan Patrick. The Dan Patrick Show.
Yes.
Dan, how the hell are you doing?
Great, Randy. How about you?
Not bad.
What you been doing since we last talked? You were in like Tokyo or something last time we talked.
I've had a very busy schedule the last month. I just got back from Germany. I flew on a USO tour to go visit 4 military bases outside of Frankfurt. And then I went, after that was done, I did a little bit of meeting and greeting and got to meet a lot of our soldiers, our men and women over there. And then after that was done, then I flew to Munich because I heard there was a beer festival over there called Oktoberfest. And so I didn't necessarily go, but you don't really need to go because when you're in Munich, it's Oktoberfest everywhere you go. So then I got back last Wednesday. I flew in from Germany, landed, and then went right to the ballpark to watch the wild card game against the Rockies. And so if it appeared that I was sleepwalking or a little bit zombie-like, well, then that was my reason.
If I needed you for one inning today, could I count on you?
Let me get back to you on that after I've had my Red Bull.
How fast do you think you could throw now?
Not very. I really enjoy watching baseball now, enjoy talking baseball now. I guess, when you're doing something like I was for 22 years, especially the last portion of my career, I'd say about the last 15 years, I really came into my own, and I really felt like I had blinders on, and it may have been the reason why I was really focused, but it may have been the reason why I shut a lot of other stuff out, not probably the best in a lot of those areas. But I look at the game now, and, there's the effort that has to go into performing on a daily basis. And now we're in the playoffs, and I've watched all the playoff games, and, it's you as a starting pitcher, you go out there and you've had a great year like, say, Kluber did or Sale, and you have your one opportunity to shine, and if you don't, then and I've been there. So I, kind of feel bad for those guys. Like, Robbie Ray, our left-handed pitcher here in Arizona, really was probably better situated to pitch the first game against Kershaw on regular rest and all that. He pitched in the wild card game a couple innings and came back, and that's not indicative of how good of a pitcher he is. I would say he's probably in the top 4 left-handed pitchers in all of baseball. I would put him that high.
Wow.
Based on what I've seen. Kershaw obviously won, and then Sale. But I would put Robbie Ray right there. So I hope that, we got the proverbial backs against the wall, but so did the Yankees and Red Sox. I hope that we can, being home today, Greinke will pitch a masterful game, and that's why the Diamondbacks went out and got him. And then we'll take tomorrow if it comes and when it comes. And but I'd really like to see people see the Diamondbacks and how good they are. I mean, J.D. Martinez has had a great year since he's gotten traded from Detroit, and Goldschmidt and Lamb, and you got a lot of maybe not household names throughout the country, but here in Arizona, these guys are really put a real good year together and really accumulated during the course of the season some big numbers. And it was just like when I played in Seattle, East Coast never saw West Coast games because they'd already be sleeping by the time our games were starting. feel like a lot of people really don't see the Diamondbacks play that much, and it's too bad that because during the regular season, we really handled the Dodgers pretty well, especially our pitching. So today will be the day. Hopefully, we get things together and have a great game all around.
Do you understand or relate to Kershaw? Great regular season, struggling in the postseason.
I did. I think I think it may have been last year or the year before when he lost a couple of games, and I guess he had tied me, and in the games that you pitch in postseason, I guess I went seven. I had 7 losses consecutively until I finally won, and some of the games were pretty ugly, unfortunately. But when I went to Houston in '98 and left Seattle and played for the Houston Astros, we played San Diego, and I lost a 1-0 game against Kevin Brown, and then gave up a couple of runs in 7 innings against Sterling Hitchcock and lost that game. So, but it doesn't matter whether it's it matters whether it's a good performance or a bad performance. But the bottom line is you accumulate losses, and but that's kind of like what I'm saying. When you have a regular season and it's a stellar season, now you're going out there to pitch one game, and after all of the regular pitches you've thrown during the regular season and the innings, you really got to be focused on every pitch, and it becomes just as much of a mental game as it does physical, because you really got to think your way through every pitch, because every pitch is important.
Yeah.
Any run you give up could be the deciding run.
We're talking to Randy Johnson, the Hall of Famer, 5-time Cy Young winner. Is there a home run you gave up where you just say, how did that guy take me deep?
Mark McGwire.
Oh, that one. But that was I just talked to him a week ago, Randy. He brought that up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I was in Germany then, I think.
He said,
I think I saw the ball go over our hotel
in Germany.
Yes.
I said, Mac, what's the one home run you want me to show that, if I'm talking about you and that kind of sums up your career? And he goes, well, the one off of Randy. And I go, Randy Johnson? And he goes, yeah, that one. Yeah. Yeah,
that was, we were teammates for a couple of years at USC, and so we had a lot of battles, me pitching in Seattle for 10 years and him playing down in Oakland, obviously in the same division, played Oakland a lot. So it was a lot of fun facing the Oakland A's. They had a great team, and that might have been the reason why I developed a little bit quicker, because I was playing against, there's so many good teams when I was playing. You just couldn't go out and be a one-pitch pitcher with a fastball. So as my career was developing, I was developing more pitches as well, with a two-seamer, the slider, a fastball, and understand you got to pitch both sides of the plate.
But you gave up a home run to a home run hitter. There has to be a guy,
I know.
Right? Like one of the great home run hitters of all time. But there had to be somebody who took you deep where you went, are you kidding me?
Well, I mean, heck, I gave up my share of home runs, and I'm not really ashamed of. Well, I'm disappointed that I gave them up, but and if you're out there as long as I've been out there and you're throwing pitches, you're bound to give up your share of home runs, and I've given up my share of home runs to home run hitters, and then I've given up my share of home runs to maybe people that you wouldn't think would be hitting home runs, but it is what it is, and hell, I even got a home run in my career.
Who'd you hit it off of?
An old teammate of mine, Doug Davis. So
poor guy.
Yeah, I know. After that, a couple years later, we ended up becoming teammates, and I ribbed him a little bit. But I really find baseball at its most interesting time right now, because when you're in a 5-game series and you can have your rotation lined up the way you would like, well, that's one thing. But like for Cleveland example, everybody was expecting Kluber to start, then you had Bauer, and Bauer went out and dealt really well. and beat the Yankees. And then you had Kluber pitch the next day, and he didn't pitch as well as I'm sure he would have liked to have. The team still won, but had a little bit of a hole to climb out. But that's the beauty of the game, and you can't always expect the expected in this game because there's intangibles. You got, make a bad pitch, error, walk a batter, hit a batter, something happens. And in today's game, in the playoffs, there have been a lot of high-scoring games. I mean, the only real well-pitched game was the one last night with Cleveland and New York. And there's been so many top-notch pitchers pitching in postseason, but they really haven't, pitched as well as they would like to. So I have been there before on both sides of the track. So it's exciting, but I'm pulling for the Diamondbacks tonight against the Dodgers, and hopefully we get past tonight and we'll move on to tomorrow.
Great to talk to you as always, Randy. Have fun tonight, and hopefully we'll talk again soon.
All right, Dan, take care.
That's Randy Johnson, Hall of Famer, 5-time Cy Young winner and special assistant to the Diamondbacks.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.